Japan's modern image is one of big business and frantic cities. Few Westerners realize it also has remote and beautiful areas of wilderness. The Japanese believe that Kushiro Marsh on the island of Hokkaido is an enchanted place, and that some of the animals which live there are messengers of the gods. Japan is heavily overpopulated, but there are a few wild areas left. One such refuge is just north of Tokyo at the Great Shrine of Nikko. The first shoguns are entombed here. The inner sanctuary of the Golden Shrine, where the spirits of the shoguns rest, is decorated with animals of special significance. Many are birds and beasts which are said to communicate with the gods. Today, when Japanese people visit this national treasure, they also learn about their natural heritage. The Nikko temples are now the center of a vast national park. Many of the animals which live there decorate the external walls. In ancient legends, the Japanese or Latham snipe was sent by the gods to observe the world and man. Today, these birds would probably report back that man is taking over the earth. Latham snipe were once common in Japan, but years of indiscriminate hunting and loss of habitat have decimated their numbers. Kushiro Marsh, on the southeast coast of Hokkaido, is one of their few strongholds. It's a maze of boggy islands, impenetrable in summer. As soon as the snow has melted, usually in April, the first snipe fly into Kushiro for the start of the breeding season. Until recently, the marsh was uninhabited and covered 30,000 hectares. Today, it's only 2/3 of its former size. Kushiro Marsh is a national park and special protection site for wildlife. An area of about 8,000 hectares is now protected. This is where the marsh gods live. The local people are poetic, and marsh god is the name they have given to the Japanese or red-crowned crane. It's one of the rarest cranes in the world, and together with the snipe, depends on Kushiro as a breeding ground. Cranes are monogamous and mate for life. Deep within the inaccessible reed beds, with only other water birds as company, they are safe from foxes and human disturbance. It's here they build a rough nest and incubate their eggs. Most of the drier areas round the marsh have been drained for farmland, but the field margins still support a wide variety of wildlife, and in spring, the woods echo with the sound of birds. A strange drumming announces the start of the snipe's spectacular display flight. His two outer tail feathers vibrate in the wind to produce this curious, resonant sound. The birds also trill from the ground to lay claim to a territory as well as to attract a mate. Resident birds, which have stayed here all winter, have a head start over migrants such as the snipe. This woodpecker is already busy excavating a nest hole. When the local Aboriginal people, the Ainu, first heard the snipe's courtship sound, they described it as the cry of an exile from heaven. As soon as the birds have paired up, they fly off in search of a nest at the edge of the marsh. In the damp woodlands, a snipe's 4 eggs are perfectly camouflaged among the grasses. The returning female's mottled feathers also blend in with the background. Only the bird's movements give away its whereabouts. Snipes are shy, elusive birds and try to stay well out of sight of predators like the fox. The snipe sits tight, relying on concealment as her best defense. If camouflage fails, the snipe still has one last trick to save her precious eggs. Feigning a damaged wing, she tries to draw the fox away from the nest. June is a busy month. Most of the marshland animals have young to feed, as well as territories to defend. At the snipe's nest, the first chick has hatched. The rest will soon follow. In the center of the marsh, a pair of cranes have a single chick. Although they lay 2 eggs, only 1 in 4 pairs successfully raise 2 youngsters. The vixen gave birth to 3 cubs in a snug underground den much earlier in the year. By now, her offspring are old enough to venture out in the open. At this stage, the cubs are defenseless and their mother must be constantly alert. At the first sign of danger, she sends them scampering below. A herd of cows seems to be the cause of alarm. They rarely trouble foxes, but a careless heifer could easily trample a snipe's brood. In the long grass round the edge of the field, the chicks are safe. While their parents are away, the nestlings instinctively remain quiet to avoid detection. Only on their mother's return do they emit a faint cheep. The chicks are now several hours old. Their down feathers are completely dry, but they still rely on their mother for warmth. The female is restless. Her family are vulnerable at the nest site, and it's time to leave. According to Ainu folklore, the snipe were so captivated by their life on Earth that they forgot to report back to the gods until the end of the summer. When they returned to heaven, the angry gods beat them until their feathers were torn to shreds. To this day, the snipe is still known as the bird with the tattered coat. Latham's snipe were the subject of an intensive study by the Wild Bird Society of Japan at the Trepan Sanctuary. At the end of September, the snipe gather on marshes along the coast of Hokkaido before embarking on their long migration. Mist nets are strategically positioned along the shore in the hope that the birds will fly into them as they prepare to leave.
直そうと思ったらスポーツに出たのよ。泣きよ泣き。still OK だ。
At night, the birds are gently removed from the nest and bagged for transport to the laboratories. Back at base, detailed measurements are taken. These records help the scientists to assess the status of the snipe population and to prepare a conservation strategy for the future. Leaving Japan behind them, the snipe fly south. The route they follow is not known, but it is thought they avoid the Philippines and strike out directly across the Pacific. Their traditional wintering grounds lie on Australia's southeastern shore, but wetlands all along this coast have been drained and reclaimed. Both Sydney and Melbourne were once prime snipe country. There are few undisturbed stretches left. Pressures from developers is intense, and vital wetlands, particularly those next to big cities, continue to shrink. For thousands of years, this part of Australia has been home to many kinds of water birds, including these avocets. This wetland, just west of Melbourne, is now crucial, quite simply because it's the only one left in the area. Resident black swans mingle with migrants like the royal spoonbill and Latham's snipe. An international conservation treaty between Japan and Australia now protects migratory birds like the snipe, at least from the huntsman's gun. But in the next few years, many areas used by the snipe at both ends of their range will be lost if man continues to destroy these last wild places. Without such havens, the outlook for migrants such as Latham's snipe is bleak indeed. By October, the snipe's breeding grounds in Japan are buried under a metre of snow. The sub-zero temperatures would mean certain death to any lingering snipe. But some birds are actually attracted to this frozen world. Hooper swans fly down from Siberia and northern Korea. Between 11 and 13,000 of these birds winter in Japan, about a quarter of them in Hokkaido. The annual run of cod attracts a variety of fish eaters to the bay. The most impressive are the rare Steller's sea eagles, among the biggest of their kind in the world. Foxes quarter the floes, searching for edible flotsam washed up onto the ice. Swans need open water, but there's little food for them out at sea. What really attracts them to this seemingly hostile environment is a network of rivers and lakes just inland. The lakes are thermal, warmed by volcanic activity deep within the earth. The subterranean heat keeps the water ice-free and opens up ideal feeding and roosting places for wintering swans. Hooper swans are highly vocal, hence their English name. But the Japanese call them angels of winter, a name inspired by their beautiful wings. Without the thermally heated lakes, the swans would undoubtedly fly further south. They could not survive the freezing cold. Yet even the angels of winter take second place in the hearts of the Japanese to the birds they call the marsh gods. In 1958, a special crane park was established to help preserve them. Indiscriminate hunting and the ravages of war had brought the Japanese crane close to extinction. Amazingly, a breeding nucleus of 30 birds survived in Kushiro Marsh. Protection of these few precious survivors, together with supplementary feeding, has greatly improved the situation. Their numbers have now increased to 600 birds. This should ensure the survival of the species. A clash of horns marks the start of a new day. The marsh gods are also active soon after first light. They leave Kushiro Marsh, where they've roosted all night, and fly in small groups to their feeding grounds. They announce their arrival with a fanfare of trumpeting. In 1952, local farmers, villagers and school children started a program of winter feeding. Fish and grain were distributed daily for the cranes, But it didn't take the scavengers long to discover what was going on. Foxes and crows are never far away when a free handout is offered. Even a white-tailed sea eagle joins in. Cranes feature widely in Japanese art and culture. They are a good luck token, a symbol of fidelity and long life. The Ainu still perform a traditional crane dance in honor of the marsh gods. The women mimic the movements of the displaying birds and imitate their calls. Courtship is a year-round affair for cranes. They will dance at any time of day and at any time of year. As they prepare for their breeding season at the end of winter, their feet hardly seem to touch the ground. Hokkaido, like everywhere else in Japan, is densely populated and the demand for land is intense. Kushiro Marsh, the last stronghold for birds like the Japanese crane and Latham snipe, is under pressure from many quarters, including other land use like the construction of golf courses. The water also gets polluted by the runoff from intensive farming. Soil and sand flow into the marsh and may well have a detrimental effect on the ecosystem. So what does the future hold? The protected area of the marsh can only support small populations of birds. Although this is well managed, and the government has awarded the Japanese crane the status of special natural treasure, the question remains: as mankind continues to expand, how long can Kushiro remain the land of the marsh gods?
Its isolation has long ensured its pristine beauty. Roughly the size of the British Isles, it's a breathtaking finger of land dotted with mountains and geysers, forests, lakes and meadows. For most of this century, Kamchatka was the site of strategic Soviet military bases. The outside world was shut out. Until now. The curtain has at last lifted, and these are among the first images to explore this unspoilt haven and its vast natural wonders. But Kamchatka's emergence is a mixed blessing. Untouched and bountiful as the land is, so are its natural resources. To a land newly taken with capitalism and starved for hard cash, Kamchatka seems ripe for exploitation. Its rivers are stocked with salmon. Its forests, so dense they're impenetrable, but for the wildlife that inhabit them. It is rich with the potent energy of intense hydrothermal activity. Across Kamchatka, the raw climate and volcanic soil form a fertile bed for vegetation. The woods and meadows are home to galleries of rich and varied flora. Stone birch trees give way to a host of alpine flowers. The tundra is lush with berries. The banks of wild rivers and hot springs are verdant and overgrown. But summers here are brief. Plants must rush to take advantage of the sunlight and heat. In parts of Kamchatka, grasses grow as much as 7.5 centimeters in a single summer's day. When the vernal sun beckons, the giants of Kamchatka appear. The brown bears emerge from hidden dens for a seasonal windfall, to fish in rivers and streams clear as glass. They come to gorge themselves on salmon that fill the waters, running upstream to spawn. This is the same species as the grizzly bears of North America. This rarely glimpsed ritual offers a window onto the habits of wild brown bears in this pristine land. While they are Earth's largest land carnivores, brown bears eat an enormous variety of foods. But as they prepare for their winter-long hibernation, they hunger for a singular delicacy. The spawning salmon offer one of nature's most irresistible banquets. Each brown bear employs a distinctive fishing style. Some favor a pragmatic approach, waiting patiently, then striking. Others put their heart into it, plunging headlong into the stream. Whatever the method, these bears won't rest until they've wreaked havoc among the panicking salmon. Brown bears are the ultimate loners. To enjoy their catch in private, the bears often retreat into hiding. That they must indulge their appetite in the presence of others makes this a stressful time. On a hidden stream winding through the thicket, a young bear practices his fishing skills. Survival of cubs depends solely on a mother's ability to protect and to teach. Cubs must learn what to eat, where and how to get it. At roughly 2.5 years old, a cub will be on his own. Newborn brown bears may weigh as little as half a kilogram. Depending on their environment, adult males can reach heights of 3 meters and weigh 700 kilograms. Because of their large size, brown bears must go on true eating binges. During these fleeting months of plenty, they devour up to 40 kilograms of food a day. With salmon on the menu, they can average as many as 20 fish at a sitting. With the end of summer and the arrival of colder weather, the brown bear will eat even more, boosting calorific intake to ensure survival during a long winter hibernation. As if on cue, the salmon are running. Kamchatka sees to it that its brown bears will never be wanting. Summer is no less a busy time along the peninsula's rugged shores. Two species of guillemot, the common and the brunix, cling to craggy perches high upon the cliffs, often side by side. These penguin lookalikes can lay eggs on the rocks without a nest. The pear-shaped egg shouldn't roll off its rocky ledge. The guillemots, tufted puffins and a myriad of other bird species work hard to eke the most out of summer. A young kittiwake begs its parent for food. Its persistence is rewarded in this time of plenty. Survival belongs to the fittest and to the most demanding. Pelagic cormorant chicks scrap for every morsel. On the watch for predators, this marmot is ready to send a high-pitched whistle as a warning. From afar, Stella's sea lions basking on rocky outcroppings in the breakers blend in with the backdrop, almost unnoticed. But others who share their seascape are impossible to miss. Come summer, like the bears and blossoms, they emerge, though for the Pacific walrus, the temperate season is hardly welcoming. Their familiar Bering Sea ice pans have melted, forcing them to endure the summer on land. Every spring, thousands haul out onto the shoals of this island off the Kamchatka Peninsula. Unlike brown bears, walruses are highly social creatures. At this outpost, as many as 5,000 come for weeks at a time. Insulated as they are against Arctic conditions, they're ill-suited for the balmy weather. Their thick skin covers a 15-centimetre layer of blubber. And yet, even in the heat of summer, instinct prompts them to crowd together. In the group, they find protection and the company of other walruses. The herd has a strict hierarchy. The dominant male claims the most enviable position at the core of the group. Here he can enjoy the most contact. To defend his throne, he must constantly be on guard against old rivals and young bulls alike. As temperatures rise, so do tempers. To the vanquished is left the insult of being banished to the outskirts. He will take his place among the mere welterweights of the herd. Bulls can grow up to nearly 4 meters in length and weigh as much as 1,700 kilograms. Sometimes a walrus will simply use the sheer mass of his body to conquer an adversary. But tusks are most often the weapon of choice. The bull with the longest usually gets the best seat in the house. A walrus's tusks grow throughout his 30 to 40-year lifespan. Amid the herd, these elongated canine teeth represent status symbols. But they're also practical tools. They provide leverage to haul out onto beaches and rocks. On the ice, they serve as picks, helping them carve out and maintain vital breathing holes. Scientists long assumed that walrus use their tusks to eat. In fact, they search out their food with their highly sensitive whiskers. They forage much like they live, in herds. They might spend up to a week at a time at sea, scouring the water's bottom, feeding on mollusks, clams, crabs and worms. From this base, they swim for many kilometers to reach their feeding grounds. For now, they await the coming frost, when life on the drifting pack ice will bring them that much closer to their favorite haunts. When the next thaw brings them yet again to Kamchatka, who knows what will await them? This land is no stranger to upheaval, as ages of volcanic unrest can attest. Yet nothing compares to the cataclysmic changes unfolding here since the fall of the Soviet Union. For the first time in its history, idyllic scenes of undisturbed wildlife are under threat. Illegal poaching and legal sport hunting of Kamchatka's brown bears are suddenly widespread. No one knows how many bears now live there. Throughout Asia, bear gallbladders are used for medicinal purposes and fetch high prices, as do bear skins. Hunters pay enormous sums for the chance to bag a brown bear. The fall of communism has brought the world to Kamchatka's doorstep. Against the magnificent backdrop of Avacha Bay is the port city of Petropavlovsk. It was founded by the 18th century Danish explorer Vitus Bering, for whom the Bering Strait and Sea are named. Its proud history is past. Despite the stark appearance of the town, international business interests arrive here almost every day. They come to lay claim to the region's plentiful resources, the minerals, the oil, the furs, the fish, and timber. Walrus rest and the brown bears fish. We are left to wonder, now that humankind has awakened to its wonders, will Kamchatka ever be the same?